You're watching CarTell.tv and I'm Jenny.
The Stonic is meant to be one of those tiny SUVs that seem to be all the rage these days. Basically, a jacked-up mini city car. Those are very much bound by their price tag. Things get even more limiting when you take into account that the one I have here is the misleadingly titled Sport trim.
However, most everyday people who are not car journalists just need simple, affordable cars
To do their daily errands while providing a reasonable amount of tech and comfort perks and modern looks.
The Kia Stonic Sport seems like one of those cars, and while it might not excite many car enthusiasts, it certainly may have a place in the market. Let's see if it has a place.
It does look nice, in my opinion. It looks reasonably modern and up to date, even though it was first designed as a 2017 model.
It uses many successful design points from the current Kia lineup,
such as the grille and headlights and a somewhat sporty front bumper design. Once again, misleadingly so. For those more aimed at style, the Stonic also comes with all the main design features of a rock climbing SUV.
You get this SUV body cladding and these roof rails, which I quite like, but unfortunately nothing under the bonnet to support the sporty looks.
However, the Stonic does have one major downside on the design front. Most buyers of cars like this one will pay a lot of attention to its looks, and rightfully so.
I did say it looks modern and nice, and because nothing is too extravagant in any way, it will probably age well.
But this is the last shot of that design direction from Kia. It's been here for a while, and while it's good, it's definitely not as fresh as it was 5 years ago.
But to stay up with Kia and Hyundai's recent standard for design, it really just needs an update.
The Stonic needs a major update.
There are two engine options in the Stonic. The more powerful turbo we tried last year in the GT-Line is the one if you want more oomph, but even that's not really sporty.
It's a 1-litre, 3-cylinder turbo petrol with 74 kilowatts and 172 newton meters of torque. There are two redeeming features for Stonic with this engine. The first one being a 7-speed dual clutch it's connected with, and the second one being a wonderfully wide torque curve that runs from 1500 to 4000 revs. That makes the best of the available push in everyday conditions.
And that one's not that exciting. And then there's this one.
It's a 1.4-litre naturally aspirated multi-point injection 4-cylinder with 74 kilowatts and 133 newton meters of torque. The same amount of power may look enticing for some,
but in reality, you only get that at 6,000 revs, and that is flooring it. And you don't want to be driving like that all the time.
And while also lower, the torque comes with full twisting force at 4,000 revs, much later than on the turbo version.
There is a need for these kinds of engines and cars on the market, so that's all good. But what is not all good is why they need to call the engine Sport. Why not call it Spud? The Kia Stonic Spud. I like it. Well, I'm definitely not getting a feeling of sportiness here.
The one redeeming feature is that the power delivery is smooth and consistent, and that the automatic gearbox is aware of the limitations of the engine.
But sadly, that's it. The push is just sufficient, and I wouldn't even feel completely confident overtaking in some instances.
After a few days behind the wheel, you get a feel for the powertrain, and things get easier when it comes to judging overtakes. But the sporty feel is still nowhere to be found.
But is it good enough for a city get-around car or, a young, inexperienced driver? Well, yes, it is, but it still feels quite compromised.
The 1-litre turbo is by no means a rabid dog, but it's definitely the preferred choice of the Stonic.
In terms of handling, there is a bit of body roll if you come into a curve faster, and it's a little bit unsettled on rougher roads. I can pretty much copy and paste this line to any car in the segment.
This is a mix of limitations of physics and limitations of the price tag. For the most part, this is the handling and comfort experience in this segment, and if something sets the Stonic apart, it could be that it actually seems a bit on the softer side than most competitors.
This is good when you have our roads in mind, and also surprisingly given the segment, there's not much road noise that comes into the cabin, although there is engine noise.
While subcompact SUVs do get a load of perks for their exterior designs, the small car lineage is far more obvious on the inside.
The Stonic is closely related to the Kia Rio, and on the inside, that's pretty obvious.
The good side is the interior design of the latest Rio is clean and practical. Ergonomics are great, control sections are clearly separated and easy to use, and the 8-inch screen, while definitely not massive, fits the picture well. It comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as a DAB radio.
The front space is pretty good even for larger drivers.
It's not ample, but after a few decades of city car development, most manufacturers have more than enough experience to make the front reasonably spacious even in smaller models.
In terms of storage, there are cup holders, bottle holders in the door, phone tray and glove box. What I really don't love is the air vents. Something about the design just really irks me. Don't like it. Don't like it.
You also get a USB port and a 12V socket. The passengers in the rear will have less space.
It's good enough for small children, and adults will fit back here, but it's obviously not the comfiest back seat. There's also no air vents and no armrest, but there is a map pocket.
The boot gives you 352 litres of space, and access is wide and accommodating. Fold the rear seats and you get 1,155 litres of space.
However, the floor is not completely flat, and if you want to drop the seats, you have to remove the cargo cover.
While the interior space is on par with most competitors, and the tech is reasonably good for this segment, and the fact that it's a lower trim level, the Kia Stonic's interior is definitely due for an update.
Yes, it's practical, but that can also be said about some other interiors that look nicer. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kia do next in the next generation.
The Stonic is reasonably safe with ABS, electronic stability, traction control, vehicle stability management, hill start assist, AEB with forward collision warning system, lane keep assist, lane follow assist, driver attention alert with leading vehicle departure alert, rear parking sensors, rear view camera with dynamic guidelines, dusk sensing headlights, and cruise control.
Mind you, all these things are also found on the entry-level S trim, so the Stonic gets points for safety.
The Kia Stonic Sport is safe, reasonably spacious, reasonably comfortable, with nice tech and still sufficiently good looks. Drive-away pricing starts at just under $25,000 for the S in manual. The Sport in auto will set you back just over $28,000.
There are loads of people who are looking for these tiny SUVs, and Kia knows how to deliver. Yes, the powertrain is definitely lacking, but I have to admit it's good enough for an everyday drive in the city.
However, its age is definitely starting to show, and if there is one common theme that runs throughout this review, it's that the Stonic is due for an update in pretty much every respect. Worst part is, you can get the Kia Seltos for only a few thousand more. A much better, more spacious, more popular, better appointed car made by the same manufacturer. If you need a small car and you are hard limited to a certain budget, get the Stonic Sport. It is good enough.
If you can afford a bit more, I would get the GT-Line. That powertrain is well worth it. But if you can afford just a little bit more than that, I would definitely get the Seltos. But the issue, again, is that availability. So good luck. Thanks again for watching Cartell TV. What would you pick out of this, the Mazda CX-3, the Toyota Yaris Cross, or the Hyundai Venue? Leave your answers in the comments and we'll see you in the next review. Peace.